To Think Tank Thursday with Cafefuel, the 9-step system that will show you everything you need to know to use the internet to grow your restaurant. My name is Brian Devine, and today we are talking about remarketing for your restaurant and how to make sure that it works, because this is an extremely powerful way to get more people to come back to your website, to come back to your specials, to your offers, whatever it is that you want to bring people to. It is a very cost-effective way to do that. Now, there are all kinds of things that are going on when it comes to being able to track people, right? So iOS, all the Apple stuff, they're making it more and more difficult, but it still can be done. And I don't want you to think for 1 minute that it can't be. There are actually some of the easiest ways is just to use videos and then, of course, get them essentially get their information through other means. And here's the thing: is that even if somebody is on a trackable source like Facebook, like YouTube, like Google, then it doesn't matter what Apple does, because they're still tracked. They're still able to get that data. And it's only if you are trying to track on your website specifically that if it's not done right, then the Apple user has the ability to opt out, right? They can say, nope, you can't track me. But other than that, it's pretty much still trackable. We can still show ads to people that have landed on your website, that have watched a video from you, that have done something where we can now track and we can follow them around. Now, why do we talk about this? If we've spent time, effort, energy, and money to get people to something that you've created, to your content, to your website, to your social media, to a video on YouTube, why not ensure that we bring them back? Because we now know that they are interested in what it is that you're talking about. So if you have this amazing program that gives people wonderful food on a regular basis, and they can, actually, one of the things that's been really interesting to watch is that restaurants have actually started to do monthly programs where you pay monthly to get discounts on coming into the restaurant, and that locks people in an amazing way. So just keep that stuff in mind. But here's the thing: that if you have something like that and someone has kind of raised their hand and shown an interest in something like that, but they didn't sign up, well, you can keep showing it to them. Now, the moment that they do sign up, there are ways that you can sort of remove that process. But here's the thing: when somebody lands on your website, they land on your content, they are saying that what you have is something they're interested in. So why not follow them around a little bit? And Google makes this possible. YouTube, of course, because they're owned by Google, makes this very, very powerful thing to do. And Facebook can still do it. And again, if you're hearing about Apple not allowing you to do it, well, if Apple user is on Facebook, they're still able to do it, right? Because you can't opt out when you're on the platform like Facebook or Google or YouTube. You can only opt out when you're outside of those types of platforms. I hope that makes sense. I know it's kind of complicated, but I really want you thinking about remarketing or retargeting, because it is extremely powerful and it's very cost effective. So we're not talking about sending an ad, sending a video, sending an offer out to hundreds of thousands of people. We're talking about putting it in front of a couple hundred people on a regular basis. And after a certain amount of time, they drop off anyway, right? Because we're only going to follow them for a certain amount of time. We're not going to follow them forever, so that you don't end up with this massive amount of people. You really are just for a short period saying, hey, are you still interested in this? Are you still interested in that? Would you like to come back and try this? That's all that we're talking about here. So I want to make sure that you're thinking about that. And let's give you a little context here. We are right at the top there where it says remarketing, and that's right before the finish line. So if you are watching this video and you have not gotten a solid website in place, your reputation is not just rocking, and your social media is not quite up to par, meaning you're not posting, I'd say, well, I want you to post at least every day, but if you're not at least posting 2 or 3 times a week, then don't even think about retargeting or remarketing. You're not there yet. You want to come back to the basics, get your foundation in place, and then you can start adding the fuel and then opening the floodgates. And when you have got everything else right, there's so much traffic coming to your content that remarketing starts to make huge, huge sense, and it has a massive amount of value. Again, you've already spent the time and effort to get people to your specials, to your offers, to your pages. Let's bring them back. Let's now market to those people specifically, and we do it at a very, very low cost. Again, we're not talking about showing this to hundreds of thousands of people. We're showing this to a few hundred people. So it's very, very cost effective. So that's what I wanted to cover for today. I hope you found some value in it. And if you would like to ask us any questions to see if there's anything we can do to support you, we're happy to do that. Other than that, look forward to seeing you next time on Think Tank Thursday with Cafefuel. That's it for me. Bye for now.